From the Keith Vincent Studios in Patterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight, we're going to have our fourth debate of this season, gun control. Are they trying to take our guns from us? And now your host, JC3.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout.
adamandeve.com.
Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
Tonight's episode, as you heard Big Joe say at the beginning, we are having our 4th debate of this season, which means, if I'm correct, this is our 8th episode this season. 2 more left in the season, guys, and then we go to our spoopy time. But let's get into this episode. In the booth tonight, we have Big Joe. Say hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our program.
We have Cito. Say hello.
Hola.
We have Mr. West. Mr. West is in the building.
Yes.
Okay. We have, again, the continuously shrinking man, the bald man himself, Roadblock. Hello.
Hey, yo, what's going on, everybody?
And we have the Pope himself.
I'm the Pope. Ciao.
Welcome to our program now. This is our 4th debate, gentlemen, and I don't know how much of a debate this is going to be. I think it's going to be everyone jump on Anthony. I think that's how I feel about this episode.
This is not a Wednesday night, and I'm not wearing my special leather pants, so no one will be jumping on me.
How much do you charge for that?
There's a group rate, there's an individual rate. If you call ahead and book your time, there's that special rate.
Anywho, our episode is brought to you by Dubby. Go to dubby.gg, punch in the code Is This Real?
I need that on Wednesdays.
All get 10% off all your order, and you continue to get the great flavors from Dubby, like the cream soda, I think.
Yeah, Dub Sludge is really good.
Dub Sludge is awesome.
That's been growing on me.
I don't think Dubby wants to be associated with that.
Oh, no, not Wednesday nights in Tony's house. No.
Dub Sludge means something different on Wednesday nights.
Whoa.
Anywho, like Dad said at the beginning, we're having a gun debate. And whether or not we believe, and we're going to be debating about this tonight, that there is a movement to take away the Second Amendment. Or just take away our guns. People's right to own and bear arms, or
Good luck.
arming bears. So in our
I would
first,
arm bears.
I know you would.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. Hold on.
They're not fucking deadly enough.
In our first
I would
segment,
put them with predator cannons.
okay, hold on. Shut up.
Imagine them hunting salmon like.
Hey, ADHD in a podcast, guys. Let's go. Come on. Hello, ADHD in a podcast.
We need to focus.
Okay, so for our first segment, we're going to talk about the left's mission for gun control. And what I have first, gentlemen, and I'll go around the room, because I'll just go with this is one person's new debate for new proposal for 28th Amendment, which is part of the, I believe, amending the Second Amendment. Governor Newsom Gavin Newsom of California. I believe he's California, right?
Yes.
His 28th Amendment. The 20th Amendment will permanently enshrine 4 broadly supported gun safety principles into the U.S. Constitution. Ready? First of it is raising the federal minimum age to purchase a firearm from 18 to 21. That's number 1. Number 2, mandating universal background checks to prevent truly dangerous people from purchasing a gun that could be used in a crime. That's number 2. Number 3, instituting a reasonable waiting period for all gun purchases. That's number 3. And number 4, barring civilian purchase of assault weapons that serve no other purpose. Barring civilian purchase of assault weapons that serve no other purpose than to kill as many people as possible in a short amount of time. Weapons of war our nation's founders never foresaw. That's the principle of the 20th Amendment. Let's have this first debate and talk about Governor Newsom's, which he's a big proponent in the left. He is a Democrat from a Democratic state, and I believe he's a leftist. Let's just put it like that. Let's talk about his proposed 28th Amendment. We'll start with you, Dad. What is your first thoughts on that?
Well, the first thoughts I have on that I have to say this. Anything that Newsom says, I am not going to listen to. First off, you want to worry about gun control and you want to worry about this and worry about that, but yet you have the highest rate of people sleeping on the streets in your own state. Okay, it's a disgrace. Your own state try to ride you out on a rail. I'm not going to take you seriously. That I had to say. Secondly, everything you just said there doesn't need to be put in an amendment. Okay, there's one thing I might agree with, and that's having universal background checks. I agree with that. All right, but what I really don't understand is why do we need to put this into the Constitution when why don't we just pass the laws? Why don't we just make these are the laws? That's it. And first of all, raising your from 18 to 21 is going to solve nothing. It's going to solve not a goddamn thing, because you know why? The people that are 21 are, and this is a fact, they don't even know who the hell they are yet most of the time. All right, you don't get it. You don't get a bearing on your life until you're about 25, and now you're 20. What? 22?
21. He's about to be 21.
All right.
21.
Okay, you're at your age right now where you know what, your school is important. Okay, finding out who the fuck you are is important.
I mean,
trying
he's
to set up
very
your
smart
life.
for 20 years
I'm not
old.
saying he's not.
Yeah, he
no,
is,
he was smarter than me at 20
This
years
has
old.
nothing to do with smart. What this has is it's a chemistry. It's our bodies. It's how we do
No,
things.
I get that, but I also feel like he's well more put together than I was at 20 years old.
That's true. That's fine. And I'm gonna agree with Dad on this one. Like at 21, you're still partying. You're enjoying your youth. 25 is when you start to make decisions that are going to start like.
Cito's like 21. I had
setting
back
up,
pain already.
Like 21, you should also like have that eye. Like a couple years, I'm going to set up my life, long-term thing. Your 30s is where you're working hard. Your 40s is where you're working on. Your 50s is where you should be in charge of making your own life decisions. Like I run my own life without having to answer to anybody.
All right, Dad, are you done with your?
I'm not really done, but I just want to say, look, I'm not a big proponent of changing the Constitution. We have the right to bear arms in this country, and we should be. It should be our right without any question. Now, you want to talk about assault weapons? There's an argument there, I guess. What you really need to talk about is you need to have the people that are running this country treat the people that are in the country a little better. Set laws forth that you don't have to work so hard to make your life. You don't have to work so hard to exist for the next fucking day. You don't have to worry about walking down the street and having somebody take your fucking
universal welfare.
No, what I'm saying is they need to pass laws. Like here, I'll tell you one simple one, and I'm going to say it's probably minute to anybody here. When you go to a card, you go to an ATM machine, and it's not your bank, you get charged $3.75 for that. We need laws that are going to be common sense laws that don't put the pressure on the people so they don't fucking snap. I believe it's mental health. I believe it's a lot of problems in this country that are being brought down on the citizens and the pressure from the government that doesn't want to do the right thing. When they stop fracking or they stop this idiot fucking fossil we got for a fucking president decides to ban.
That's still okay. That's
We'll
still
allow
okay.
it. We'll allow
Okay,
it.
We'll allow it.
to ban drilling on the first day, causing how many? 15,000 jobs? Okay, what about those people? You think they didn't snap? They got to feed their fucking families, and you might get one that might not be the most assured person. So he grabs a gun and he fucking whacks a couple of people on the fucking subway. Okay, those people didn't deserve to die.
He's
But
using mafia terms.
He didn't deserve to have the pressure put on him to do this stuff. This government is stop talking about bullshit gun control.
It's almost as
you
if,
want to
like-
stop the guns? I'll tell you what you do. Go get the fucking go in every fucking town.
Not your turn.
Go in every town and get these motherfucking gangs off the street. Zero tolerance with them. Take the guns, blow them the fuck away. Period. End of story. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Like El Salvador, right? Like El Salvador.
Wherever it is, I'm sick of it. You know what? There's going to be people that buy guns legally that are going to snap because they're going to snap because they're very weak-minded. All right? Or they're going to be fucking to snap because they were driven to snap. They were driven to fucking to you know what? I'm everything in my life is hopeless now. I can't feed my family. I can't support a fucking house. And now I'm gonna do something.
Okay.
Fuck it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. You're kind of worrying for me. It sounds like you talk from experience, but Sato,
You're the type of person we don't want to have a gun. We don't want to give you a gun.
Sato, you're up. I'll give you. That's it. You know what? It's gonna be real debates. 2 minutes. 2 minutes for opening arguments.
Okay, 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Okay, I'll make this quick. So mostly everything that he said and as proposed is like age 21, I don't really think it matters much. Because let's be honest, if someone's under the stress to go shoot a location up, they're gonna do it whether they're 18 or 21. What's another 3 years?
And a little, I'll give you an extra 30 seconds for this because I'm adding it.
Yeah.
For the whole 18 to 21 thing, you're gonna tell me you're gonna send me to war at 18 years old or to another country.
That's a good
I
point.
could use a weapon there, but I when I come home, I can't own a weapon.
Exactly, like a
Or
person.
have a drink at your own wedding.
That's just. But continue.
That I don't agree with. Universal background checks, I feel like I don't even know why it's taking this long just to say, oh, we need universal background checks. But overall, I think we need a whole entire re-overhaul of the background check system between buying a gun and then, because a person could purchase a gun at a young age. I could purchase a gun now, but there is the possibility I may do something that get me in trouble or ruin, or may change my background in saying he's not allowed to own a gun. I feel like there should be a constant update of gun owners, and it might be a little harder to do, but a constant system of background checks where it's not, say, every day, but every year or every other year, where they're constantly updating to see if this person is worthy enough to having a gun.
You're absolutely right, and I'll get to you in a second, Wes. I don't know if you were finished with that.
I still have a little more to say.
Okay. I'll add. I'm not gonna give away his name, but somebody was here tonight, and we all know him. He was talking about where he was working as far as the casino and how much cameras and how much in-depth stuff like he can see with those cameras. Like he said, I could read people's text messages with those cameras. I could see into the McDonald's 4 blocks away with the camera that's on top and read the menu from there. Like you could have all that, but they're saying it's so much worse when you're trying to do background checks. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no, I agree.
There's
It doesn't make
so
any
much
sense.
technology when it comes to sitting there as far as protecting money, but everything else is like, well, we don't have the technology for that right now. But
No, I actually would give you one better. Right now, anyone can have the technology or the power to reverse search anyone's phone number, email, or even as simple as an image and get their entire life in your hand. But yet they can't do a simple background check in the government.
let me
I've
know.
been doing that right along. I mean, I've been building a family tree. Granted, most of them are dead, but I found people who are still alive. I'm like, oh, that's a cousin of mine. I know exactly where they live. That information's out on the internet. I've never met them before.
Exactly. All your information is pretty much out on the internet. Phone number, wherever you may be live currently, is all out on the internet. But you're telling me the United States government cannot sit down and apply the same system to your background, where it's always connected to everything you do, but yet they can't do that? And on top of that, not just background, people's, psych develops over time. 1 year I may not have depression, but some kind of tragic event would lead to depression, or something else may lead to depression. And if I have a gun before depression and then I get it, it's one leading system that may end up being a cause of whatever event may happen. And this is where I'm also saying constant, I won't say like you're forcing everyone who has a gun to go get a psych checkup, but I feel like at least once a year, not just anyone who has a gun, but it's mandatory for anyone. At least the government should be able to do at least one psych checkup for anyone, for anyone's own mental well-being. Because at the point where we're at, where, let's be honest, the middle class is
Well,
beyond the point stressed.
Middle class is diminishing. They're
Yeah,
trying to
it's
get rid of the
diminishing.
middle class period. But
Yeah, but you understand the point,
Yeah.
like where our class, because let's be honest, we're in this position where we can work our entire lives and we're going to be stressed our entire lives and possibly not even see a retirement.
all right,
Like there has to be something for that.
West.
What was the original question?
Read him the things.
Okay, so the 28th Amendment that is being proposed by Governor Newsom. There are 4 components of the 28th Amendment that will raising the federal minimum age to 18 to 21.
No.
Mandating universal background checks to prevent truly dangerous people from purchasing a gun that could be used in a crime. Instituting a reasonable waiting period for all gun purchases, which, I mean, it's happening now anyway. And barring civilian purchase of assault weapons that serve no other purpose than to kill as many people as possible in a short amount of time.
That's kind of stupid as well too.
So that's it for you. That's you just like it's all stupid.
It's very stupid.
Okay.
It's very stupid.
Do you want to allot the rest of your time to roadblock? Because you have like a minute 59 seconds left.
Why do you think it's stupid?
Raising the federal age from 18 to 21 literally does nothing. It does
True.
nothing.
Both Dad and Sito did say that. Yes.
It doesn't do any purpose whatsoever. For reasons that Sito said, I will agree with, and then reasons that Pops said that I'll also agree with. You threw in a comment that like you can go to war at 18, but you can't do any of this till you're 21, and then you want to try to raise it even more. Stupid. The waiting time for this is kind of stupid as well too, because if they pass your background check, who are they to say that like, oh, I still think they may do something criminally or a crime with this and still prolong your waiting period when that's still your fundamental right to own weapons, because the way that Second Amendment was set up back then, these people fought for freedom.
And the one thing I have to say about
from all the tyranny that we're pretty much starting to experience today, because them motherfuckers are stupid.
the prince is back. I mean the king is back. Shut up.
Someone's
I
back.
know you're gonna fucking start singing. Shut up.
Someone's back.
Da, 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 da.
Shut up.
You say.
Shut up. Joshua, roadblock.
He just shoved it up your ass.
Anywho, sorry. Continue.
Which end do you want first, the smaller end or the skull?
Let him think about it.
Listen, as long as you lube it up, I don't think it's good. Never mind.
I'm not.
You sound
paying-
like Anthony right there.
Right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
like-
paying for your medical bill either.
You even surprised your brother. You emulated him.
I mean, I'm going with the skinny side first. It's going to at least warm me up. Unless at the end of the night, then you know what? At that point, I'm not going to feel it no matter what.
Okay.
Go ahead,
All right.
Josh.
So
I hate you.
Smash.
I really don't agree with anything that's proposed. Raising the limit to 21 will serve absolutely no purpose, because if someone wants to buy a gun, they're going to find a way to buy it. Doesn't matter if it's legal or not. If someone is desperate enough or really wants it that damn bad, they're going to buy a gun. It doesn't matter if they're 18, 21, 32. Hell, there's 15-year-olds from old mass shootings and shit like that are actually getting these guns. It serves no purpose whatsoever. What was the second one? I'm sorry.
Mandating universal background checks.
Yeah, I mean, you need background checks. Although I think they're kind of half-assed. I don't know. Okay, so from my personal experience, I literally finally decided to buy a gun at one point.
Oh, yeah, about to say, you're the only gun owner in the booth right now.
Yes.
Legal gun owner.
Legal gun owner.
Yes. I went
scares
to...
me.
That scares me a lot.
Don't worry, I left it to my dad.
We're not scared for you.
Oh, okay. All right. Never mind. I get it now. The background checks I think are iffy. It's probably where you go to get the background check, like where you buy the gun from. But I bought wine from a shop when I was living in Vermont, and it literally took like 5 minutes. And the only reason it took 5 minutes is because I took like 3 minutes to sit there and decide which pistol I wanted. Like let's put it that way. I literally 3 minutes to decide. I filled out the paperwork and shit like that, and I handed it to the guy, and he was like, all right, let me call this in. Literally called it in right in front of me. And it's like, all right, you're good to go. So I was like, okay, here's the money. And then walked out with the gun.
So you're telling me you spent more time on making a decision of what you wanted than the back?
Yes.
Touche.
Yeah.
Cool.
The phone call the guy made probably, I'm not even joking, lasted almost exactly a minute. And the only reason it probably took that long is because the guy was speaking slowly. Like he was reading off things from the form and stuff like that. So I do believe in the background checks. I mean, it's always better safe than sorry, but I think there would have to be some kind of updated system, or maybe depending on where you go to buy a gun from, maybe theirs is a little bit more thorough or something like that.
Do you agree there should be federally? In other words, all states are unified.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't sit there and say, oh, someone can go in and just buy a gun without a background check. Like, that's necessary. If someone has priors, you're not going to want to sell a firearm to them.
Right.
At least in my defense, unless they can get all the information from that situation that happened on that person's record, and then you can make some kind of judgment, or maybe even institute a waiting period from that. That's what I would believe in. And then what was the third one?
Instituting a reasonable waiting period for all gun purchases.
Okay, so that part of that for me can go back into the background check. I think if they do it, it would have to be on someone that they do a background check and they find something prior.
Right.
I think that's when that waiting period should be instituted. Is there any more, or is that it?
And then barring all civilian purchases of assault weapons that serve no other purpose than to kill as many people as possible in a short amount of time. Weapons of war our nation's founders never foresaw. So assault weapons, like
No, I get it.
Rocket launchers.
who the fuck is buying a rocket launcher?
Hey,
Okay,
you can
first of all, I would.
You can legally own an M1 Abrams.
Yeah.
That's a tank.
Okay.
Just
With
saying.
a boom boom attached.
Okay. Name me one motherfucker that you know actually has a tank.
It's probably someone in Texas.
Most likely.
Texas.
In Texas, yes. I mean, that's fine.
Probably Florida.
But
All
tell
right.
me,
If
okay,
you could barely
I
get a-
don't want to sound like an asshole.
If you could barely get a pistol in this state, you really think they're gonna let you?
I
get a
don't want to
tank?
sound like an asshole. Name me one school shooting that had a motherfucker roll up in a tank.
Not yet.
That's not a school shooting. That's a school bombing.
No, that's called Iraq.
Oh,
Oh god.
and it continue.
Anyway,
First of all, it's pronounced Iraq.
Sorry.
Shut up.
I have a weapon tonight.
Yeah, I have a weapon too.
You brought your knife?
Yes.
He has his thumb.
That
Continue,
too.
Joshua.
What the fuck?
Banning all assault weapons.
First of all, I don't.
No.
See that one
Joshua, not you.
for me.
Yeah,
That
let me
one's
get there.
actually a little bit iffy. It's kind of 50-50 for me, I should say, because you should have the right to buy any weapon you want. It doesn't matter.
Woohoo!
Can I ask you a question, Block?
Absolutely. What?
Don't sound so pissed off and mean.
So,
I'm trying to get my fucking wording.
Speak into the mic.
so if they can barter civilians, does that push you? Does that push the agenda to try to get you more into the military for you to get a gun legally at that point?
Well, assault weapons. They're not banning pistols and stuff like that. Like, if you really want an assault weapon,
Just like how the founding fathers intended, we all get muskets,
Yeah,
cannons, and load them up with grape shot.
exactly. And that's
Tally ho, lad.
that is a reference
that's
that I hope someone catches out there in podcast land. Anyway, to answer Eric's question, one, I would never join the government because I don't trust those motherfuckers to begin with. So yeah, that's
My
never
boy's
gonna
wearing
happen.
his tinfoil hat tonight.
Yeah, like pretty much. It's a 50-50 thing for me because I can see the side of it where owning an assault rifle could be a bad thing because if someone crazy grabs one, obviously they can kill a lot of people. Like there's no denying that fact. But at the same time, owning an assault rifle is our right, and it can be beneficial to defend ourselves from a crazy asshole with a fucking, machine gun.
Or a tyrannical government.
Or
Thank you. But
or
this guy and I are
tyrannical
the same
government.
fucking wave.
Yeah, or tyrannical government. So it's like, it's 50-50 whether it's like right in the fucking
See,
middle.
I
You can't
can-
make a decision.
I'm sorry. I'm looking in the fucking camera, and I see this prick behind me, and he's with the mouth movements like, "Oh, a government can never be tyrannical."
I didn't say that.
Okay. The only thing I have to say,
Go on.
and I'm sorry if I cut you off. I truly am sorry.
No, to be honest, I'm basically done. 'Cause, like, that last one is like pin needle because it's like I can't make a decision either way.
And I'll sit there and go more on it when it's my turn to talk because I know we have to go to Pope Toby. Tony, whatever the fuck. Well, I call him Toby because if you ever saw The Office, I'm Michael, he's Toby. I just don't like him, and he's just trying to do the right thing. That's our relationship. All right. As far as assault weapons, you can, if someone truly knows how to sit there and do it, you can mod a pistol to be just as deadly as a fucking M80.
You could build one.
Exactly. You can do anything with a pistol if you truly know how to.
M80.
Not an M80. What the fuck's the big gun everybody keeps talking about?
AR-15.
AR-15. You can mod one just to be just as deadly, just like they do with AR-15s when they're modding it to shoot clips at a time.
Actually, I'll add one on top of yours.
They're double trigger.
Today's technology, they can literally buy 3D printers and make them.
Exactly.
Called
And I
ghost
guarantee you
guns.
could probably, somebody will somehow, some way learn how to take a lot of people out with a fucking potato shooter if you give them the chance.
Oh yeah.
All
There
right.
was a dude in Chicago that got locked up because he was doing he was 3D printing automatic switches on Glocks.
Yes.
Making them fully automatic.
Yeah. So,
And guess how much time he got for that?
a year?
3.
All right, Sita.
The only thing that would hit me is like banning automatic weapons. Wouldn't that just open the floodgates of, okay, if I can't have one legally, where do I go to get one illegally?
Yeah.
But also, I thought about something else when he said about that guy in Chicago. Did you guys hear about that guy who robbed a gas station with a China Lake?
Yeah.
That's a grenade launcher, Dad.
Boom, boom.
I'm waiting for some nut job to like hold up a liquor store with a t-shirt cannon.
All right. For the next
I work at
person,
the stadium.
hold on. For the next person, all of us here, we're gonna give Anthony his time to talk, and we're not going to sit here and jump on him.
It's not Wednesday.
I don't think you know what it's coming out of my mouth, but okay.
That's what she said.
Trust me.
Taught her your sex tape.
All right, Anthony, you have the floor.
In regards to Gavin Newsom, everything that man said is bullshit. Raising the age does not do a fucking thing. He wants to treat guns like alcohol and cigarettes. It's not going to fucking work. Because that's not the problem. Responsible adults, regardless of your age, don't do mass shootings like this. It's irresponsible adults who do it. So it doesn't matter if they're 18, 25, 47, doesn't matter.
16.
So raising the age
That's
means
not an adult.
fucking nothing. Raising the age didn't deter kids getting hooked on cigarettes. It doesn't deter illegal parties with kids getting drunk. It's not going to deter gun control either.
Let him cook.
So I think that's complete full of shit. What was the second one again?
Mandating universal background checks.
I'll skip that one. Go to the next one.
Instituting a reasonable waiting period for all gun purchases.
No. Absolutely not. If I'm a responsible gun owner, why the fuck should my purchase be held up? Why?
How ironic, right?
That doesn't happen at Burger King. Oh, we'll feed you tomorrow. Pay today, you'll get it tomorrow. You can go to a fucking Best Buy and pay for the TV. You walk out the TV. Doesn't matter what kind of fucking gun it is. You should be able to have your gun at the moment of purchase, unless it's a special order. That's fair. If you want your name engraved in it, or you want some special modifications that they don't have on display, that's fine. They gotta send it back to the shop and make it for you.
And
understood.
Can I just add something to that?
Go ahead.
Judging the fact, because it's happening within our own family, because someone that we all know love is looking to get a license. He's been waiting 7 months for the sheriff's officers to call him about his approval or denial.
Just his license, not even the gun.
Just his license, and it's 7 months.
Fuck that noise. What's the fourth one?
Fourth one is barring all civilians from purchasing assault rifles.
Absolutely not. What if I'm just a collector? What if I'm a responsible someone who wants to own that weapon because I collect weapons, and I'm going to take the firing pin out of it and display it on my fucking mantle? I'll keep the firing pins locked up in a safe where no one can get them. That gun can't do anything to anybody. Go on, take it outside. Bang, bang. Brrr. How many people are going to drop dead?
Say hello to my little friend.
Not a single fucking one of them, because it's useless without the firing pin. And that right should not be taken away from me because it's a very expensive weapon of war. This is America. My money is green.
I was waiting for this. Is America, Jack.
My money is green. I should be able to buy whatever the fuck I want. I will say this. Do I think it makes sense? No.
Cooking.
Do I think it makes sense? Like, you can buy this gun, automatic weaponry.
Hold on, we're letting him talk a little bit more, and now the little bit's coming out.
Hold on a second. You're gonna buy a gun.
Let him finish.
There we go.
You're gonna buy an automatic weapon that can slice through anything. You're gonna buy the fucking armor-piercing rounds. Buy them too. There's not many deers that wear Kevlar, just so you know. I don't know if you're aware of this. But if you want it, you show the fucking right to get it.
Okay.
Now, going back to the background check thing.
I don't want to sound like an asshole.
Okay.
But, and this may be sadistic, have you ever watched hunting videos of people who use AR-15s?
No.
Have you ever watched them use special bullets on deers?
No. The only thing I
Do
saw
you
was
just
a
sit down
special
on your
arrow
free
that
time watching
decapitated
people
turkey.
kill
Well, no,
animals?
something, when you're scrolling on TikTok and you see something like that.
Yeah, you know.
Hold on.
That's for you.
When you
Paige.
want
Hold
to
on.
tenderize the meat immediately, you use this bullet
It's very satisfying
to watch him explode.
to watch them explode.
You're a sick fuck. Now, getting back to
I'm sorry.
getting back to the second
A
point.
small hole here, no head at the other side. Like,
Universal background checks.
Okay.
This is the only thing where I am on the fence about. Because, first of all,
I was your boy before his boy. Remember that.
I don't think I'm going to sit here and say right now at the top of this debate, I do not think that this is a gun problem. I think this is a mental health problem. First and fucking foremost, this is a mental health issue
You're very
in this
loud.
country. The guns don't help, but that's what they use because they're effective. Let's just
Guns
call it what
don't
it
kill
is.
people. Apes with guns kill people.
When
It's a George
somebody
Carlin
is
joke.
demented, they're going to find a way to do demented things. They don't have guns on sale in England, but that doesn't stop the stabbings from going down. Oh, they can't have a pocket knife. How will I butter my crumpet? My point is, when they wanted to do something bad, things happened. There's stabbings over in England. This is not a quick case of let's ban the weapon because that'll make it safe. It might curtail it a little bit. It might lower it a little bit, but it's not going to stop it. You want to treat this like a mental health issue? You want to provide people the means to affordable mental care? Maybe that'll help. We haven't tried that in this country yet. As far as universal background checks are concerned, I like I said, it's really on the fence with it. Because if I'm of sound mind, like this, damn it.
We're not restarting the episode for
No,
you.
no, I'm not. I'm just saying it's one of those things where it's hard to really am I in favor for it or am I not in favor?
I'll give you a thing. Do you want to take time, sit here and wait till the end of the episode, and then give your thoughts on it then?
Maybe.
Because we're at a half an hour right now. I do want to take a break real quick because I think I've been adding my points in through
I
everybody's
think
stuff.
you know what it should be. I'll tell you like this, and this is I understand the difference. One is a privilege, the other is a right. But you don't have the right to drive a car. It's a privilege. You have to go and get a license. You have to take your test, and then you have to carry that license with you when you drive your car. If you treated guns the same way and you had your license with you, and every couple of years it expired and you had to renew it, similar to a driver's license, and you had to take the mental test and say, okay, you took your test again, your license is renewed, you can continue owning your gun. Maybe that's the closest thing I am to a background check, is making sure that you're mentally tolerant, you're mentally stable enough to own this weapon. And you're really not going to think this came from me. I would start like they did back in the day, when I would bring cops and shit and people into schools and say, this is a gun. This is how it works. And you must respect this thing. There's a reason why kids, when raised the right way, can sit there and like, oh, yeah, is it weird to see a kid with an AR-15 in their lap? It's weird. But if their parent is teaching them this is a weapon, this is a tool, this is not to be played with, I don't see a problem with that. That's a responsible parent teaching their kid gun responsibility. And if we did that in schools and we said, I'm not saying like give the kid a gun, like, all right, everyone stand around.
Yes, at 16, like we get everybody a condom.
We're not doing fucking William Tell in 6th grade.
Here's a bullet.
But I'm saying, like,
This is a bullet.
if there was gun safety at the early ages of education,
10 students minus 2.
maybe that might have an effect in the long run.
All right, okay. We got everybody. We're gonna take a short little break, everybody. Please continue to listen. I know this is gonna be a long episode tonight, but just get through it. We're gonna take a short little break. Here's a word from our sponsors.
Hey everybody, we're just letting you know that we have new merch in our store. Go to greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio for our first ever logo drop. The Cryptid collection is here. Get your favorite cryptids such as Bigfoot, Mothman, Nessie, the Yeti, or the Jersey Devil on t-shirts, hats, or mugs. You can also get all of our podcast logos on various items as well. Remember, that's greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio. New episodes of Is This Real drop Sundays at 8. Question everything.
Hello, this is JC3 speaking. If you want to know more about Is This Real podcast and our parent company Green Hour Media, then visit greenhourmedia.org. You can find and follow all of our social media pages through our website. If you love our content, then you can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Patreon page. Remember, that is greenhourmedia.org. And welcome back to our episode. Now, for our second part for our gun debate tonight, we're gonna be talking about mass shootings. So, fair warning, this might get a little graphic. Maybe, I don't know how this is going to go. We don't want to sit here and offend anybody or anything like that, even though we usually do.
These are the unhappy birthday parties.
That's what I mean. Anywho, so guys, for I have in front of me the Gun Violence Archive 2023. This is evidence-based research since 2013, and the published date for this was August 27th, which is today. It was as of today. So this year alone, all causes of gun violence, and it breaks it down. Gun violence, total number of gun violence deaths in 2023 so far, 28,313 gun violence deaths. What?
How many of those are suicides?
I'm going to break it down. I'm going to break it down.
Yeah, that number just says we had 20,000
This
more
is
people
all-
on the
yeah.
earth at the top of the year. Not here anymore.
Well, I mean, I think it balances with how many births happen each year.
Let's not split hairs.
Okay, that's fine. That's all causes. Now it goes homicide, murder, unintentional, and DGU. What the hell's DGU? Does anybody know what DGU is? Well, okay, so DGU. So
Number of source verified deaths and injuries.
okay, so homicide, murder, unintentional, and DGU. That's 4 causes of gun violence in one.
I'm sorry, what did you say DGU was?
It's in the footnotes. Number of source verified deaths and injuries.
Oh, okay.
All right, so I guess 3 then. With that number, it's 12,539. deaths this year.
All of those are in one category.
Homicide, murders, and unintentionals.
Yeah.
That's over
I
12,000.
didn't mean to kill the guy with my
Yeah,
gun.
or
Manslaughter, I guess.
Or
that
like
would
a
be,
kid
eh?
found his father's gun and blew away the neighbor type shit.
Yeah.
Got it.
Only one by itself for this year. Well, so far. Suicide, 15,774.
And
deaths.
the number
Numbers.
was 20. And the number was 20,000 something.
28,000. So more than half of gun deaths this year have been suicides,
It's always usually like that.
which
And they
To
just,
me,
they just
just
ramp
real-
up the they just ramp up the number.
real quick just states that there's a mental health problem.
Well, hold on a second, real quick. Does that count people who decide to take themselves out after a mass shooting? I think we just had one this weekend in Jacksonville. The guy walked in, he blew. I think it was walked into a supermarket. I think he blew. No, it was a Dollar General. Blew away 3 black people and then turned the gun on himself. Jacksonville FBI office said
He
this
bought
is
something
a
for
hate
$2.
This is a hate crime. He had like a swastika painted on his gun.
Oh, sorry.
He had other messages spray painted on his gun about how he wanted to kill black people.
I don't know if that's included in this or not.
Right, like that
Okay.
would be a suicide, but technically he also took 3 people with him.
Total number of injuries by gun violence, 24,953.
Jesus
So you had
Christ.
deaths and then injuries. Mass shootings accounted for 475 deaths. Or 475 mass shootings this year. Maybe that's it. No? 475 deaths?
No, it's never mind. It's the second one. The
Yeah,
number
okay.
of mass shootings. Period.
Number of
Yeah,
mass
there's a
shootings,
lot more people dead.
475. Number of mass murders, which I guess is the same thing? No? I
No.
guess mass murders that involve gun violence is 30. Now they break it down in ages. Number of children killed from gun violence, 200. Injured, 467. Number of children was ages 0 to 11. Number of teens, 12 to 17. Killed, 977. Injured, 2,736. Officer involved incident, killed. Now this is a major topic. Major topic as far as you want to talk about officer involved incidents. 35 people killed by officer involved influences. Officers killed or injured, 259. So you had 259 cops killed in gun violences.
or
Well,
injured.
killed
Or injured.
Killed or injured. That's why they shouldn't put those two in one category,
Mm-hmm.
so that you know exactly how many cops died and how many of those are injured. Because
See, hold on. It's very confusing with this because they have highlighted blues and dark blues. This one is officer involved incidences in the kills aspect is 951, and then suspect killed or injured, and then they have injured 548. So I don't know what those two mean because they have officer involved incidents in the dark blue 35.
Dark blue, I'm assuming. Anyone can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's 2 officers. So it would say if I'm causing active violence against an officer, the light blue is officer.
Oh, on perp, quote unquote.
Yeah, the light blue would
civilian.
be officer 2.
Civilian.
Civilian. Okay. All right, so officer on officer violence then would be 35, injured 259. Officer involved incidents as far as civilian 951, and then suspect killed or injured 548. Defensive uses, meaning I use the gun in defenses,
Stood my ground, yeah.
775. And murder/suicide incidences, which would probably be what the match
Yeah.
453.
453 people would be, that would be an event where someone took themselves out after they took out a few other people with
And they said gun violence and crime incidences are collected, validated from 750 sources daily. Incident reports and their source data are found at the gunviolencearchive.org website. And then we'll go through the So what is, as far as those numbers, real quick from everybody, what are your take on those numbers? What do you think they mean as far as gun violence? Are they more than what you expected? Are they less than what you expected? As far as, to me, it's gonna sound fucked up, but the way how guns are harped on and how much of a thing it is as far as debating within politics, I would have thought the number would have been a lot more than what it is.
The problem I have with those numbers like that, and yeah, the numbers are staggering if you really look at them. But you also got to
don't get me wrong, they're wrong, they're bad.
You got to put it into consideration of the. Now, this is solely for the United States.
Solely for the United States.
Okay.
Yes.
How many people are in this country, roughly counting?
350 million, I
Okay.
think.
So it comes to how many? What was the total number of all that?
28,313 deaths as far as all causes,
Okay.
and then 24,953 injuries.
50,000 out of 380 million.
Gun violence reported.
Gun violence reported. Now, I want to take away, again, what I said earlier about the gangs, take the gangs out. How many of those are gang related?
My thing with this, I don't think they don't have a number on that.
Even so, if you
The only problem I don't know if this is total gun violence as far as they're committed with a legal weapon or an illegal weapon. I don't know if those are the same type of numbers.
Well, in mass shootings,
It says gun violence archive, meaning all gun
All
violence,
guns,
period.
regardless of legality.
yeah.
Okay, and then
To me, it's just like, all right, there's 50,000 things happen with guns. I get it. Bad number of people, cops being shot, kids being shot in schools, nightclubs, whatever. And to say what I'm going to say is going to seem cold-hearted, but the numbers are just a drop in a bucket. If you really get down to brass tacks, I understand that people want to get rid of guns or they want to get rid of gun violence, but you're not going to get rid of gun violence until you get the gun violence at the source. And right now, I don't believe anybody's even going anywhere near the source. Okay?
What is the source now?
The source to me would be illegal guns. Okay. Now you can factor in how many, again, very good question that you asked before, how many of these are done with illegal guns?
because that's what the debate is about.
Okay, so 77% of guns that are used in nightclubs and school shootings and mass shootings are all done with legal firearms. That's a fact.
Yeah, I've yet to find a mass shooting in the country that you could probably.
There's
read
probably
into.
some out
There's
there.
probably some that deal with illegal weapons that they turn
but
around.
those
and find.
guns, they may be legal, but I'm sure that if we had looked into these people that are using them, we would have found out that there's something wrong with these people. Sane people do not pick up a weapon and kill somebody.
It's not the people who own the guns, I think.
What do you mean?
You have people who stole the guns from my mother, from their father, from
That's
their
been a
neighbor.
lot.
That's been
That's
a large
also
commit
right.
atrocities.
Well, again,
years.
but again, well, that comes under that comes under irresponsible parenting. Okay, irresponsible.
Well, I mean, if you take an instance, again, if you want to believe the Sandy Hook incident and go by its true story, and again, I want to throw it out there. I don't want to piss people off, but if you go by its story, he killed his grandmother who owned his mother who owned the gun. He killed her and then stole her gun. So it's not irresponsible parenting if someone's gonna shoot you with the
If
fucking
that gun is locked up in a safe where it should be,
Right.
and I'm the only person with that code,
No.
No.
I even disagree with that.
how are you gonna get in the code out of safe with?
No, not even that.
People
Let's
can
be
fucking
honest,
break
right?
things regardless.
No, not even that. I feel like any responsible gun owner shouldn't have to put a gun in a safe. They need to teach their child from a very young age gun safety.
I agree with you.
Let's be honest. If your house is getting broken in, do you think you're gonna have time? All right. What's my password again? I'm half asleep. I think it's 2275. Oh no,
It's dark
no.
as shit.
I
can't
messed
see
up.
Anything.
You
I'm
can't
half
see.
naked.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
just fucked my bitch.
To
Thank you, Eric.
Cito's point, my dad had guns in the house. They were on a rack on the wall. There was no safety on them. There was no gun. There was none. You can literally pick them right off the wall. We knew at a very young age how to touch those guns. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be for everybody. I'm not, because, again, we're in a different time. We're in a different time where rage is the fuel of the country. And people that are unhinged.
Well, the rage of the fuel of the country started, to me, all the way back in the 60s.
I would have never
and
thought.
just snowballed.
It was when Harambe was killed.
I would have
Shut
never
up.
picked up a gun and shot or aimed at anybody. Okay, because that's not what you did. You knew better. You don't want to. These are your mom and dad would say these are the consequences that would happen to you if you touched the gun.
This is bullshit statistics.
Okay, but again, I think mental health is definitely a part of it. I think the country is going down the wrong path. I think the rage of the country, the hopelessness in this country right now is fueling a lot of this stuff. That's just me, and that's my opinion. Take it or leave it.
All right, and Sita?
It's interesting because I'm looking at previous years.
Yeah, I'm looking at the previous years. That was gonna be my next thing.
And like, it's interesting to me that this year alone, homicide, the homicide, murder, unintentional, that section, and then suicide are a lot closer than any other year before.
Well, we still have 4 months. Let's not get our hopes up.
Yeah, but we still have 4 months.
Oh.
But in comparison, right, the numbers are pretty close.
Yeah.
Like, let's look at 2019, where it's 15,000 deaths and then 23,000
Suicides.
2018, 14,000 deaths, almost 15,000, and then almost 24,000 suicides. Like, the gap in between the two are larger.
Yeah.
And I would expect to see that even now, but this is what? Give or take a 2,500 or so difference in deaths.
You know what the funny part about, I'm looking at the numbers too, as far as 2020 when we were in lockdown, 2021, as far as the COVID lockdown, you would have thought because of that, the mass shootings would have maybe taken a dip. Nobody was in school from home, everything was locked down, but from 2019 to 2020, they jumped significantly. They jumped, like, from 2016 to 2019, 383, 348 in 2017, 336 in 2018, 417 in 2019, and then in 2020, it goes all the way up to 610. And then 2021, 690.
Well, I know I was hearing a lot of reports in 2020. A lot more people decided to end themselves because of the nature of the world was in.
That's not a mass shooting, though.
Yeah,
no,
we're
it's
talking
not
about
mass shooting. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
But
just
the only thing I say is maybe
COVID, like, all the lockdowns started beginning really towards midsummer, so you had like a half a year to work
And
with.
the only thing I would sit there and say, maybe you can encounter, but I don't remember there being a lot of shootings happening at the protests that were happening during the summers. Did anybody hear of a shooting
I
at the
What
don't
about
protests?
all the protests that were going on? What about all the rioting that was going on?
But no shootings were happening. No mass shootings were happening then.
no, they were just
Unless
shooting
some of them weren't
whatever.
reported as well, like, because they were going on all over the country.
Yeah, my whole thing is like, where did that number jump from in 2020 and 2021? Because
No, that's a valid.
there's a lot. There's almost 200 more mass shootings from 2019 to 2020. And you're talking about 2020 is an election year.
In 2020, it says that there was 614 mass shootings, resulting in 446 deaths and 2,515 injuries, for a total of 2,961 victims. Compared to the previous year, there was 180 more incidents.
Yeah.
However, according to Statista, the number is only 2 for 2020 compared to 10 mass shootings in 2019.
I think what you got to do if you really want to see what's going on here, or you really want to know what agenda is whose, check out mass shootings before an election year, and on the election year, or leading up to the election year, check out if those mass shootings ramp up.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I think that just based on how media likes to run things, it's all just fear proposed things, where I'm gonna boldly say that this country has never been more safer than it is today. Now, granted, 50,000 people died of gun
Gun violence happened to
or
50,000 victims.
50,000 victims of gun violence out of 350 million, let's say that is 0.014% of anything happening to you in this country with a gun. I'm just boldly saying that,
I'm
like,
gonna say, let's see to go ahead, because then I got something to say to that.
because that's, you know what I mean, like, what are the chances of some shit like that happening?
When you spread that number evenly across the 50 states, that's a great thing to say. But when you want to talk about per capita, that number is going to change. You don't have the same amount of people in New Jersey as you do in fucking Montana.
Yeah, you can't look at that statistic as 350 million solely because of the fact of the population differences between, for example,
State to
New
state.
York. Let's look at New York City alone and then the state of Rhode Island. Look at the gun violence between there. And if, for example, if Rhode Island, say out of 1,000 people, 500 have dealt with gun violence, and then we bring it up to New York and it's like what? Let's say the same number. Out of 1,000 people, 500 experience gun violence. Because the population is much lower, you have to take in recognition that gun violence is much more in Rhode Island than in New York because of population size. Or if you want to compare the population of an equal per capita between New York City and Rhode Island, you would have to bring that number up. So it was like, say, instead of 1,000, it'd be 10,000. And now 500 people have experienced gun violence in New York out of 10,000.
Yeah. I mean, it's like saying that, okay, in Montana, you have a 0.1, and throughout the country, you have a 0.0014%. That's great. But if you live in Jersey, you might have a 0.10%. I mean, God forbid it ever happens, but we live in fucking, I mean, we drive through Patterson. We all work in Newark and shit like that.
Ass state, bro.
You know what I mean? Like, just driving through a bad neighborhood puts the fear of God into you because if there's a random pop off, that could be your ass.
Well, I can look through state and on this website. Obviously, there's a lot more gun violence happening on the East Coast. From Maine all the way down to Florida, it is bright as fuck as far as gun violence.
That's where all the people live.
You have on the West Coast, on the far end of the West Coast, from Oregon all the way to fucking San Diego, all the way down there, right on the line of the West Coast. And obviously in the middle, you're not going to get a lot of gun deaths. Not a lot of people compared to living on the coastline. That's how it is. And
then Chicago's lit up like a fucking Christmas tree.
Yeah, Chicago's lit up like a fucking Christmas tree. It's just, Chicago. So right now it says in the 9 years, and this is just 9-year take, 330,000 shootings. That's not deaths. That's just shootings, incidences. And then they turn on, and it's updated as of February 1st, 2023. So this particular part, so 330,000 shootings in 9-year span. Is that, in your mind, enough to have legislation or amendments put on the legal gun owners in this country?
No. Sorry.
We'll start with you, Dad.
No, I don't. Look, I'm all for people. I'm all for background checks that are universal. I want to see it uniform across the states. But what I don't want to see is people putting it into our. Once you start fucking around with the Constitution, then it becomes let's put it this way. I know I'm going to be unpopular when I say this, but I'm going to say it becomes like impeachment. You impeach people just because you don't like what they say, or you make up shit to impeach people because or you weaponize something to get your opponent, which is all what we're going now. So if you let somebody take over their will to just change the Constitution simply because they don't agree with something, and with legislation it's going to be meaningless. I got a little statistic here. I just want to read this off to you, and you tell me if this makes any sense. Okay. In 2016, well, we'll go even further. 2014. All right. I'm going to just use mass shootings. We had 272. 2015, we had 333. 2015, election year starts ramping up. 2016, the year of the election, 383. The next year, which would be 2017, 347.
It dropped.
And here's where it gets a little interesting. 2018, 335.
336, yeah.
335. Now, 2019.
So we're on par so far.
2019, 414. We've gone up a little bit. That's now in 2019, leading towards an election.
Yeah, in 2020,
Hold on. Hold
you
on.
just said, it jumps up 200.
Now here's where it gets crazy. In 2020, 610 mass shootings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Right.
literally debated about this before.
I know,
It was like 10 minutes ago.
689. I'm sorry, now we'll go to 645. Since the Democrats have taken over,
Oh, okay.
okay, the mass shootings have almost doubled. Whose agenda is this?
This is not a red versus blue thing.
Well, then give me the reason why they've jumped under Democratic leadership.
Wait, but
That's all I'm asking.
if you want to take consideration of 2020, remember election happens at the end of the year. The new president takes place.
I'm talking leading up to it. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
It's still a red.
It's still
It's still
Red.
Trump was Republican. It still was a
remember
red
officially
election year.
the new Democratic president.
I mean,
doesn't
you could
take
sit
place till
there-
January.
You're right, but what you could sit there and say is that it's leading up to an election, and that could be the cause. I don't think it's a red or blue thing.
Yeah, I don't.
So-
I actually don't think this is a political thing at all.
I don't either
2020
because
was also the year of COVID where everybody was locked in.
Yeah, that's what me and Joey are trying to figure out. Like, yo,
To me-
lockdowns
okay.
happen. Where did everyone come from?
to me, what fucks me up is I don't think it's a red or blue thing either. I mean, granted, yes, I could see where your point is leading to there. I get it to a point, but at the same time, I think this has been a thing that's been happening and rampantly over the last 25 years since
And
Columbine.
somebody's got to answer why the numbers jump under Democratic leadership. That's all I
They
wanna know.
don't jump. If I guarantee, if you go back and look at mass shootings under Bush,
I just gave it to you.
did you go back to Bush?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't let me go back to it. It goes back to 2014. That's it.
That's what I'm saying. So if you sit there, 2014, and they were lower than what they were for Trump.
2014. Let's see.
That's Obama era.
That's Obama era.
That's 272.
Exactly. They were lower than what Trump had every year of his election.
333 at 415. But then why is it when a Democrat gets in?
because it's not about left or right. It's actually about the rampant rising of actual gun violence.
Well,
period.
this is where the conspiracy part of me comes in.
But you're backwards on it.
How am I backwards?
Because you're saying when a Democrat comes in, you're in the middle of Obama's second term then, in 2014. That's what you're looking at right there. And it's at, so I'll give it a base number of 250, right?
272.
Okay, it's 272. 272 2014, and then it's 3-something in 2015. 2016, the election year, it jumps up to 383. Now it's 100 going into an election year. But then it does drop a little bit, but Trump had more mass shootings under his term as a red president than Obama did in the last 2 years of his presidency. So it doesn't jump up.
Okay, so but you don't understand is you're basing 2 years of Obama here.
No, I understand that.
The whole 8 years. Can you find that?
I can't. But what I'm saying is that you could sit there and say it's a red versus blue thing or where they ramp up. You're only basing it on one number of it ramping up in 2020 under Biden when gun violence has been going up in the last 10 years.
It's been
Rampantly.
rampantly.
And the only thing I have to say for this, and I know I want to get everybody's voice in for that. There with that, I think again, I think we're all in agreement. Besides Dad, I don't think it's a red or blue thing. I honestly don't. I think it's just a gun violence thing. Now again, you're always gonna have a debate between the red and the blue of the red less gun laws, blue majority gun laws. And I that's where I think when you come down to it, red and blue thing, I don't think red or blue has anything to do with the actual amount of mass shootings that are happening. Now, what you could factor it down to, again, if you really want to do this, and it would take time, look at how many cities each have gun violence compared to adding it to the number, if they're Democratic run or Republican.
No, I would
That
not
would be
go that
very
far.
hard to do.
That's what I'm
I would
saying.
sit there and look at the if it's available, look at anything that the shooter left behind, a manifesto, writings, check who they voted for, and see if it's politically motivated.
That's also
the only thing you can back that up and make.
No,
it
a
I mean-
bigger issue because mass shootings also count school shootings.
I know that.
and
I know that.
Students can't vote.
No, I understand
But
what I'm saying. is you
I
have
don't
these-
think that is the case. I think if you're gonna sit there and try to debate it as far as red or blue thing, I think you could sit there and say if you're gonna have this is statistically correct, in blue cities, gun violence is much higher than red cities.
I don't know about that. I mean, you look at the map you have on your screen.
The rate that I have out of 30 cities here in the States, 27 of them are Democratic, 2 of them are Republican, and then it's Las Vegas.
The only reason I think
Is Las Vegas red or blue?
It just has like an exclamation point with
Las
nothing-
Vegas?
with yeah.
the only reason that happens,
Las Vegas is just Las Vegas, baby.
I would like
Yeah.
to think
It's independent, I guess.
the only reason that if there is more mass shootings in Democratic states is because there's nobody, because the gun laws there are so tight that you don't have an opportunity to defend yourself and stop the shooting before it becomes bigger.
Exactly.
Look at I'm telling you right now, you can look at there's many incidences in red states where a 7-Eleven or a gas station was being held up and that crime was stopped and nobody got shot because the guy who was over by the coffee machine whipped out his piece and put it against the back of the head of the guy who was trying to rob the store. So that homicide that could have been because the guy was trying to jack the place didn't happen because you had someone in there who was a responsible gun owner who prevented a tragedy.
That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. And I think the last part of this, and then we're going to go to our break, which is interesting to me because everybody wants to attack the assault weapons, right? We talked about them assault weapons. This is weapon types used in mass shootings in the United States between 1982 and July 2023 by number of weapons and incidences. So the number of weapons used in number of instances. So handguns. Well, we'll start with shotguns. Everyone loves a shotgun. Put a hole in the motherfucker. 28 incidences. Number 30 shotguns used.
Shotgun is a very personal thing.
28 incidences. Rifles. And that includes an AR-15.
Because it's an assault rifle.
It's an assault rifle. 68 incidences in 40 years. 68 weapons used. 68 assault rifles used in those incidences.
Because, they're effective. They get the job done.
Handguns, it jumps rampantly. 113 incidences. 163 handguns used in those incidences. So if you really were to sit here and say they want to ban
Somebody
assault
thought they were a
weapons,
cowboy.
they really want to sit there and say assault weapons are the major problems. They're the ones using in these school shootings. The handguns are the ones being mostly used.
I would sit there and say, look at that number differently. Handguns are used in gang violence or things like that.
This
on the
is
street.
mass shootings.
Okay,
And
fine.
mass
I
shootings
understand
alone.
Mass shootings alone.
Okay.
No, not gun violence in general. This is mass shootings
that.
alone. If you want to start banning something, ban handguns. But
There's
they're not
only-
going to do that because if anything, they want to be tyrannical or whatever they want to do.
Can I just say something about that real quick before we go to break?
Yeah, sure.
I'm tired of hearing about, this is where I'm going to go left on here. So hate me if you want.
I already
I'm
do
tired
hate
of
you, so.
hearing about you have to stock your guns to make yourself be a part of a militia. That way you can protect yourself from a tyrannical government. I don't give a fuck how many people dress up as Call of Duty characters and march in the woods once a month. The military has drones and attack helicopters. I do not give a fuck how many militias there are. If there was a tyrannical government, they win because they have the army. Now, we would think...
Whoa!
I'm a plus
hold
one
on.
on you this.
Hold
I can
on.
own an M1 Abrams.
Hold on.
think that the
Hold on.
army
Now,
would turn around and go,
you're
no, we're not doing
completely
that.
wrong. How many, and I don't want to sound like an asshole here, but how many militias and stuff have we seen over the last 20 years in these far fucking socialist countries overthrow the government who have all that same shit, but they overthrow their fucking government?
By the
We're
way-
talking about the most advanced military on the planet, and
By
not to
the
mention
way-
Russia just did the same
Hey.
thing. They took out the guy from Wagner Group.
Yeah,
Well, okay,
but
they marched
Wagner
on him
was
and they
also
blew him
saying
out of the
they're gonna
sky.
reply, Anthony.
The plane crashed.
Wagner themselves, not the whoever's now in control of Wagner. It's Wagner as a group entirely says they're going to get their lick back.
Yeah, I understand that, and that's great that they might do something.
See, you know what?
But they're not taking
If
out a
this was-
tyrannical government.
If this was fucking 1776, this motherfucker, we would still be wearing,
no,
licking the
because
British's boots, all right?
1776 No, because 1776.
We'll still be drinking tea and crumpets.
Because
Jesus Christ.
1776, you had a bunch of people who had the same weapons as the people.
No, they did fucking not.
Muskets? We didn't
Yeah.
have the. We didn't
No,
have,
no, no,
we
that's
didn't have
fine,
assault
but-
rifles. We didn't have cannons. We
You're-
didn't have fucking Navy ships
no,
that could
shut-
fire from
shut
20
up.
fucking miles
We
off
did
the
have
coast.
cannons. loaded with grape
but
shot.
I'm
No.
talking about,
But
like,
no. You know how we got those cannons? And it's one of the dad's favorite songs. They stole the cannons from the fucking British.
I understand that, but
They didn't have the cannons themselves until they fucking stole it from them.
But my point.
So
You fought fire with fire. We're not.
no,
fighting
you didn't fire with fire. You stole their fucking shit to fight fire with fire.
Listen to what I'm saying, though. You stole their technology to use it against them. We're not stealing fucking drones, asshole.
You're gonna tell me now?
Yo.
No, I'm sorry. Hold on. You're gonna tell me not one bucktooth motherfucker in Texas is gonna turn around and say that they have a drone. I know how to build a drone myself, and they fucking do it.
No.
When they can build fucking.
Not
when
a
they,
fucking chance.
get the fuck out of here. They build pipe bombs and sidearm bombs and shit like that.
Then what's that gonna do to a fucking Navy destroyer 20 miles off the
You know what?
coast?
Hold on.
Who can
Hold
put a
on.
rocket up your ass without even thinking?
If we were still in 77,
We're not in 1776,
You would be wearing
asshole.
a fucking red coat, you fucking commie pinko bastard.
Okay.
What? Did you
Time out.
just say?
Time out. Lydia, let the adult in the room fucking take care of this, okay?
Fuck him.
Okay. All right.
True.
Yes, Anthony, you're absolutely correct. The government is loaded, most advanced military in
Knows
the,
how to
in
kill
the
the
world
spirit.
at any time, whatever. And they can pretty much do whatever the fuck they want. Problem is, when a group of people in a militia, all right, don't give a fuck about that. All they know is they're going to defend their land, their home, and it's not worrying about that they might get blown out of the sky. They're going to give up their life for their home, for their land.
That's fine.
Just like everybody did in 1774,
That's fine.
75, 76,
That's fine.
and
The
beyond.
point is, they're going to give up their life.
Okay, that's
No,
their
they
right to
don't
fucking
care.
do it.
I don't agree with Waco, but Waco's a perfect example.
They don't care. It's what they believe is correct.
I understand that,
Okay,
but my
they're gonna
point
defend
is,
their
like,
country.
It really just
my
comes
point
down
is,
to the
you're
soldiers themselves.
Huh?
It really just comes down to the soldiers themselves if they have the conscience to like pull the trigger on their own people.
Thank
no,
you.
I agree with that, and that's what I said in my opening rant.
All right,
You
Cito.
don't think the army would?
I'm gonna
do it.
shut your fucking mouth. All right, Cito.
Anthony, your argument is right now it's the American military.
Mhm.
It is.
My argument to you is it's also the American military. Our soldiers are the most proud Americans that there could possibly be. If you think one guy on top would say, oh yeah, we're going to have our armies go stroll down, let's be honest, there's going to be a few guys in there, and let's not forget about those motherfuckers that we call Navy SEALs, those monsters that we call men, because they're out here murdering fucking Wagner
I
with
know.
20 soldiers versus 600 and tanks and all that.
I would hope that our military would go, no, we're not going to do that.
And the
They
funny
would.
part
Coup
about
d'etat.
that,
They would.
hold on. And the funny part about that, you're talking about militias and stuff like that. You know who mostly will form those militias? Former fucking military members defending their homeland.
Again, technology though is not the same thing. They don't have access to the
They
same
gonna whip out the
weapons.
black technology.
So what I'm getting
just
from
give
you-
up?
Hold on. Yeah, Anthony, I'm getting from you is so we should just bow down to somebody who's stronger than us because they simply want to do what they want to do. Now, I agree
No,
with
that's
Cito.
not what I'm saying.
I agree with Cito. I don't think in a situation where a government was tyrannical and they would come on their own, go after their own people. I gotta watch my words. This fucking thing. That they would go after.
I don't
their
think
own
the government's
people.
going to come on anybody.
Fuck you. Okay. The point is, if that happens,
They
the
come on my
military's not
taxes.
going to go along with it. I'm going to tell you right now, they're going to say, "Fuck you! I'm not shooting on anybody." And if they
You
do
would
take
hope
those
so.
orders, they're fucking fair game like everybody else.
You would hope so.
I would hope so. Yeah, I would.
But in regards to the people who like, I'm following orders because that's what a soldier does.
You would have soldiers turning on soldiers.
Now,
you
just-
would.
if you
You
want,
would.
Oh, yeah,
if
it
you
would.
want to get
Okay.
to the point
You
where,
would.
It would.
So you
Not
would
saying
have
you wouldn't.
soldiers turning on soldiers.
I'm saying
and just
you
because,
would.
but see, that's the thing. You have people turning the generals themselves. You have people turning around. And they would have to know this is the group of people that aren't going to sit there and tell me no. They would have to make sure, or they have guns pointed to their heads. Because I honestly don't think they're going to say, okay, you see that group right there? Drop a drone on them. And somebody's going to be like, why? Because I said so.
Following orders, yes, sir.
I know. Would
No,
you- would you
not
follow
on
it?
civilians
Would you do
because
it?
because
Not a
again,
civilian, because if that militia is viewed as an enemy of the state, they go down. You want to put together
What do they do? Defending their homeland as being an enemy of the state?
whatever
If
is
that's the
spun
case-
around to
if-
make them an enemy.
If that is the case, then we need more militias Because if the government is labeling somebody who's going to defend their own homeland and use legally
That's
purchased
a tyrannical
guns,
government. Yes.
okay, that is definitely by definition a tyrannical government, and they need to be punched in the fucking
And then
face.
we need to just
And
restart
we
this
just-
bitch.
We will need to go after them.
I heard they make good
100%.
money. So
And
like,
right.
The problem now
is this real
is
militia?
the problem now is you have fucking
I told you, you're
destroyers
away from
off
the
the
government.
coast that could send a fucking missile up your ass
I don't care.
from miles without even
But
thinking
again,
about it.
you're not understanding. These people don't care about that. They're going to give their life up because they feel like that's why the same people did the same shit. You had farmers in fucking.
Regardless of whether their lives
Hold
are
on,
good
hold
or
on.
not.
No, you had fucking farmers in 1776 going after these fucking British with fucking pitchforks, and then the people in they didn't care.
You're absolutely right, but the technology was on par. If I steal a cannon, they have a cannon, it's fine.
Time out. No,
I'm
I
not
said-
stealing a fucking destroyer.
Hold on. I said pitchforks, motherfucker. You had farmers going after people with pitchforks,
A
and
lot
they
of
had
people had
muskets.
muskets back then too.
I'll even give you more modern examples. There are many countries today that are possibly going through revolutions. And guess who's
France
winning
goes
the
through a revolution every 20 years.
He's kind of not
No
wrong.
croissants. That's fine.
But point being, it doesn't matter because what one thing civilians have over the military is that the military will never shoot their own, and that's just consciousness. That's just the consciousness of man.
I can't agree with that. Only on the grounds that if the tyrannical government is saying something and has the support of the military behind it,
They never will. If it is
what you deem as a tyrant.
No. The reason I say that is because when you're sitting there as talking about military itself, the people in the military, Anthony, if you don't know this by now, there's a very small portion of people in the military who lean left wing. There is
Okay.
a larger part of the military people who are right wing.
Again, if the tyrannical government is deeming a military,
You don't understand. Like, you really don't.
No, I do understand. I understand perfectly.
No,
My
you
point
don't.
is, if the tyrannical government has the support of the people and says this place over here, that military, that is an enemy, I don't give a fuck how much they dress up like Call of Duty characters. They're not winning.
That's fine. They don't care about winning, you
Then
dickhead.
why the fuck do it?
Because all they care about is defending their homeland, whether they
They're
die or not.
defending shit. They're gonna be toasted.
They're still defending if they die or not.
Hold on. The view Tony has right now is basically him putting his tail between his legs and kissing his ass.
Pussy.
Goodbye. You're not taking into the fact that people are willing to die for what they believe in.
I understand people are willing to die for what they believe in.
Then why you keep saying fucking no, blah, 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 no.
Because
people like that will fight until
That's
they're
why I call him a
fucking
commie
dead.
pinko bastard.
No fight.
It is a fight.
That's how
You
it
don't
is.
get this.
Okay,
You don't
that's how
line
I
I
up.
think I
Bomb
figured out a way to put it in Anthony's head. Anthony, you're directing a show. You know, a play, right? Whatever it may be.
Whatever those little things you direct.
Whatever it may be. You broke your leg. You can't even be physically there. But you're still going to be there, right? You want to be the show. You want to be the director you are. It's the same way that Americans are going to be for their own homeland. They're going to do whatever, no matter what. Because guess what? They're going to try their best, even if they know they can't do it. You're going to do the same as a director.
I don't have any problem with anything that anyone said if we were on par with the technological weaponry that the military has. But because
Okay, and
we
that's
don't,
what I'm
Doesn't
no,
understand.
no.
So when's our
step
next
on
break?
like a bug.
Hold on, that's what I'm telling you though. It doesn't matter what the fuck the other side has.
Look
the
at
person
Vietnam.
who believes is going to protect whatever
Yeah,
it is they
exactly.
want.
I believe they call it dying
Protect.
for your
Look at
cause.
Look at
Exactly.
Vietnam,
It
bro.
doesn't matter.
Dude,
Vietnam,
they formed a whole
they
warfare
beat the-
for.
They beat the
No,
shit out
that's
of
the
us.
have-
very essence of what this country was founded upon.
They can have fucking
But-
satellites that can do laser beams. They don't give
Hammer
a
of
shit.
Dawn?
Yes.
Can I just
never
have laser
Hammer of
beams
Dawn.
attached to the freaking skulls of sharks, please?
Yes.
Sword versus
If
sword,
a person
handgun versus
believes,
handgun,
they will
fine.
fight hand
No,
to tooth.
you're
It doesn't
you're
matter.
thinking everything
Hand-
has to be fair. That's
My
a
point-
left wing in
what-
them.
No,
All right,
that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying everything.
Can
has
we
to be fair.
continue,
My
please?
Yes.
point is, the war's never going to come
That's
out. It'll be
okay.
right before the war started.
Combi Pinko Bastard's mic is off. Well, we're gonna sit here. We're gonna take a short break real quick, and hopefully
Benedict Arnold
Come
changes
back and
his
end this
mind.
episode, please.
come back and end this
No, I'm fucking
episode.
with you.
We'll be right back to hear more from our sponsors. Hey
everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What's that?
No calories, no
No
sugars,
sugar.
no fillers,
No fillers.
and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines, they undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to dubby.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's DUBBY.GG and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Passion Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby.
And be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you liked this video today, please click the like and subscribe button and make sure to hit the notification icon to keep up with all our videos.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout.
At adamandeve.com.
Welcome back to our episode, as our lively episode, our part 3, and our finale, if you will, to this debate episode, this lively debate episode. Tony, please talk about our sponsor tonight.
Well, I think it goes hand in hand. If the gun crisis in this country really is a mental health crisis, then reach out and go to BetterHelp.com. BetterHelp.com is there for you to provide counseling and therapeutic services. If you sign up using our website, betterhelp.com/question, QUESTION, you'll save a little money. But what betterhelp.com does is it hooks you up with somebody who's willing to work with you in whatever field that you need help in, be it business relationships, personal relationships, family relationships. There's a counselor and a therapist for you. I've been going to therapy my whole life, and look how wonderful I've turned out. Go to betterhelp.com/question, sign up using that link. You'll save some money on your first session, and you'll hopefully get some help, which is what I think everyone needs in this country. Someone to talk and vent to.
I don't think you're a good sponsor for this BetterHelp.com because therapy does nothing for you.
Not true.
Anywho,
That's debatable.
If you're doing something right, they don't even notice you're doing anything at all.
okay. So for the end of this episode, I did have a little thing part of this episode as far as the political war, civil war on guns, but I think we've talked about that through the entire episode as far as left, right, something like that.
Yeah,
through
blue
numbers.
gun bad, red gun awesome.
So besides Anthony's Pinko commie Pinko comments,
That is the one thing I will. Can I just say something? That is the one thing about the Republican side that irks me. You have a dedicated group of Republicans who go, nothing should be touched when it comes to a lot of the NRA people. There should be no background checks. There should be absolutely nothing when it comes to guns. Like it says in the Constitution, we have the right to bear arms. That's it. We can't apply. You can't say background check. Can't say license. Can't say waiting period. Can't say nothing. Those are the people I'm like, it's an all or nothing thing when they're black or white. And I'm like, I have a problem with that group of people.
well, I mean, you could say the same thing for the left. The left have people who
I
have
agree.
no guns whatsoever.
No guns whatsoever.
No, everybody
Ban them all.
take away everybody's
Fuck
guns,
you.
stuff like that.
I
so
agree. I agree.
Don't worry,
100%.
I got a katana and I know how to use it.
they're called extremists.
Is the NRA extremists though?
The NRA is not extremists. The NRA aren't the people who are sitting there. Most of the NRA are not sitting there saying keep it completely the same thing and stuff like that.
Do you agree that after a school shooting, the NRA should show up the next day and hold a conference, though? I think that's a little.
No.
That's
Hold on a
happened.
minute. Wait a minute. No. You don't get to do that, okay?
Uh-oh.
If you want to sit there and you want to say it's not fair that the NRA comes in after a mass shooting or whatever and comes in with a thing, that's fine. But I don't want to hear whenever fucking, some guy walks into a school and takes out fucking 50 kids or a shopping mall or whatever it is. I don't want to hear the first stupid ass, dumbassocrat stand there and start talking about gun control. I don't want to hear what you got to say.
Difference, though, are you talking about somebody who's an elected official? I'm talking about the NRA is not an elected official. That is a
I don't give a
group of
fuck.
enthusiasts.
I don't care. I don't give a if they have no right to come out and say
an
something.
association.
Neither does
They're
anybody
an association, but
on
they
the
have
left to
ties.
say we gotta do something. But what is that something? Please let
I
us
agree
know.
with what you're saying. My point is, though, you have this tragedy where someone was blown away by, this 50 kids are blown away by these weapons.
Right.
Let's open a convention and say how good guns are and we need to have more guns in the street. That's where I'm like, maybe don't do that.
Well,
They've
no,
done
no.
that in the
No,
past.
hold on.
Do that at all. I
Yeah,
think they
hold on.
have
Time
done
out.
that.
No, it's not like, oh, a school shooting happened there. All right, let's go to there and let's do our convention. No, they don't do that. They have these. No, they haven't. They have these planned events that happen throughout the entire year. They're not sitting there like, oh, Uvalde? We're going to be in Uvalde next week. They didn't fucking do that. They don't have it planned right after a school shooting because they don't fucking know that that's going to happen.
Yo, what if, and Dad might just orgasm when I say this, right? But what if,
Oh, I hope so. It's been a while.
what if that does happen, right? It's the left just pre-planning to take away guns because NRA is going to be there next week.
That's a good one.
You would have to sit there and
So
really do your homework.
So the Democrats are planning these shootings so that way when the NRA shows up, we can go, look, they're the bad guys.
Well, they're the
It's
same,
just a theory. I don't
they're the
believe
same
it.
ones that are tying fucking bills to Hawaii with fucking mucho bills to go to things. So, and then when it fails, because the Republicans say no, we need to give more money to them and not that much the money to Ukraine. Then the Democrats are like, oh, look, they don't want to help the people in Hawaii.
We're not getting into that issue right
It's the
now.
same fucking thing. It's
Bill
politics,
should be
folks.
based on what
Politics.
the bill is. It should. I agree. If you're going to write a bill about this thing and say we want to send money to this thing, it shouldn't be, well, you send us, we'll give you this quid pro quo shit. Do we
By the
want to
way,
send
I
this
don't
money
think-
to this
I
cause?
don't
Yes or no?
believe in that. I'm just saying.
No.
It's just something to throw out there.
I'm fine with that. But again, Anthony, I don't think it's one of those things where it's like the NRA sitting there like waiting. Okay, which school shooting's gonna happen this year?
Or it's the opposite. It's like the left is like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's either one way or
No,
another.
but
Like,
through chaos comes opportunity. If they're going to sit there and
Okay,
say
sounds
that
sick.
happened, let's show up and be the positive spin.
all right,
on
then
it.
how come you don't?
Or through
How come
opportunity,
you
there's
don't
chaos.
see? How come you don't see more pyramid schemes around people, mass stabbings? Like when that mass stabbing
you talking
happened in
about?
fucking New York a couple years ago, you didn't see people like, okay, I'm gonna sell you these knives.
Because there's no fucking National Knife Convention or
Actually?
association.
There is.
I'm sure there is, but it's not as big as the NR fucking A.
But that's my point. Like I think that's a little far out conspiracy theory for you even.
Stabby.
But I don't know. I with this whole situation as far as
I want to take that person out, but I have to be within 5 feet.
Like it's one of those things. Listen, stabbing events happen.
They do happen. I'm not saying that,
They're
but
dangerous.
They are. But like it happens like in one very, very small spot.
Well, yeah,
they
but it
catch the
happens
guy.
multiple fucking times. Like
I understand.
this woman went back to her husband after she was stabbed 45 times. Like I get after like between 1 and 30 is okay, but after 30 it's a little much.
Yeah,
Wait. You draw your line at 1 to 30?
Yeah, man.
Hold
I
on,
think after
hold on.
30
At
stabs.
1, I would draw the line. But 1 through 30? Oh, yeah, she's
It's like,
fine. She can go back.
He just misunderstands me. It's okay. I'll take him back. After 35, she's like, now I'm starting to get suspicious. I don't think he likes me anymore.
Okay, here's the question to end this episode, and I think it goes along with the debate. Do you, with all that information that's happening, do you believe that? Not do you believe? Do you think that there is a conspiracy theory to take away weapons? And as far as the conspiracy theory goes, what is the purpose of it? Dad, we'll start with you.
I believe there is definitely something out there that I can't put my finger on it, but I do believe that there's certain elements in this country that are looking to take a piece at a time, a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Because the people in this country that run it, the upper 1% that are running our government, fuck the politicians. They're just useless critters at this point.
Useless critters.
Okay, the people that are running them, the people that run the show, want everything. And by getting everything, they have to get people away from, they have to get the guns away from people so they can be in control. Now, you want to call it a conspiracy theory? I can live with that. But you got to understand what's going on. You got to understand that every time you turn around, there's another mass shooting, or another mass killing of not only schools, but everywhere else. And every time it happens, it takes a piece. Now, you want to try you want to try taking guns off the street? That'll help a little bit. You want to try background checks, universal, all through the states? That might help. Okay? But if you want to, in my opinion, if you want to stop this and you want to stop the people from having an excuse of using gun violence, all right, stop fucking up our country and go to Washington and do what you're supposed to do for the betterment of the people that put you there. Don't put so much pressure on people that they do snap. And then when they snap and they go crazy, you push your gun control agenda. And that's just my take on it. I take it or leave it. I mean, that's how I feel.
All right, Sita?
Are there conspiracies out there? I'm pretty sure, yes, whoever it may be would believe, like, yes, the government's fully hard, like, going all at it, trying to take our guns away no matter what. It would probably be, like, people, like, who belong to, like, the NRA or who firmly believe in the NRA that would say, like, oh, yeah, the government's trying to take our guns. That's a conspiracy. But like Dad said, I don't think it's really that. I do think it's a mental health crisis that's not just starting at whatever age you can buy a gun. It starts early, as in, hey, this kid in middle school is having issues, to late where this guy is just having way too much stress. He could barely feed his family and pay the bills. There's too much mental health, like, between young and old, that leads to positions that lead to these acts of violence. Now, I do believe, like I said earlier, if we can somewhat reform the whole background check system where it's actually useful and it's not just like a one and done, like, oh yeah, you can buy your gun, there you go, here's your AR-15 or whatever gun you were going to buy. It's just a one and done. It has to be kind of in check. Obviously, like I said, I would love if the government, even though we probably know it'll never happen, if they would provide some kind of, at least once annually, one provided mental health checkup with a psychiatrist of some sort, even if they dedicate it towards like a group who can actually sit there and like spread out between the United States. Might be a little hard, but it's the idea of at least one mental checkup for a United States citizen, and with that checkup you can put it on the background, and then that person can go in and, like, whatever background check they're doing, can go in as like, okay, here they're showing signs that they might not be capable of owning a gun currently.
You're right, and not to cut you off, but if you got to go every 2 years, whatever it is, to pay another $60 to renew your fucking license, so I don't know, what are you doing different now that you didn't do 2 years from now? You're still going to be driving, but if you can do that, you can go in every year, every 2 years, all right, and reapply, and do the entire form all over again. And I'm not saying a full background check, but
I'm thinking like a mental health
Here's
check.
a question for that.
Go to a doctor.
Hold on.
And let me see that you are capable of continuing the license of a gun in this country.
Well, I think
Might not stop everything.
Well,
but it
I
would
think
definitely
I
help.
think you're on a point there, because when I believe it's the law, if once you break the law driving, you get points on your license, you have it revoked.
Exactly.
So that could be the same. Okay. I mean, that could be the same type of system you can have for a gun a gun
Absolutely.
license.
There's
Yeah,
I
no,
don't understand
that's
what the problem
a
is.
great suggestion.
Now,
And it could
granted,
be a
I don't know
point
what
system
you would
there.
sit there and have the point system like, oh, you pointed your gun at somebody, then point for
It
that.
might be
you
a
know,
little
like,
harder, but I think going based like a hybrid system between like a person, like say if they had a gun
stop
in their
stroking
car.
your mic.
I was just fixing the bass. I'm not doing anything weird.
Say if they have a firearm in their car and it was out in the open and they're not supposed to, depending on the state. Like it changes based on state laws.
Yeah.
So like whatever like that law states, like, oh yeah, this is 2 points, but also just your yearly mental health checkup.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would first off drastically reduce the numbers, because let's look at it. Suicides are leading in gun violence, no matter what.
Almost
And
every year.
if suicide isn't a mental health issue,
What
then
is it?
what is it then? Because it is a mental health issue no matter what. And I, as someone who studies psychology, would think if you want to solve an issue, you first have to check the mental state of the person first.
All
That's
right.
pretty much it.
West?
What was the question?
My fucking god, man. Do you believe there is a conspiracy to take away our weapons?
Yes.
And, is that it? Okay, Joshua, Roadblock.
I love Eric. Yes.
There's not much to it.
I could say that I could believe that there's a conspiracy, but I feel like it actually seems like it's way too blatant to be a conspiracy. Like, if they're sitting there doing stuff like, what's the guy's name who did that for the amendment?
Gavin Newsom.
Gavin Newsom, like, if they're gonna start slowly making changes over time, and if they pass, then that right there, that's not a conspiracy theory. It's going to happen. They're just doing it. They're doing the long term instead of the short term.
What's the old adage that if you put a frog in boiling water, it jumps out?
Yeah,
But if you put a frog in cold water and slowly burn it,
yeah,
he's gonna boil and he's not gonna even know it.
yeah. So
No, that is an old adage. Very, very, very old adage, but it's an old adage nonetheless.
It happens to work.
yes, that's
No, I was explaining to Sito. He was looking at me.
yeah, I'm sorry.
strange.
I'm a little too young. That's
my
the
bad.
first time I've
If you
ever
do
heard
it-
those
If you do
words.
something
my
incrementally,
bad. Yeah, my
it'll
bad.
work versus doing everything at
okay.
once.
Yeah, instead of being blunt and doing it right there in your face, taking the time to do it over a period of time would be more effective.
That makes sense.
So for me personally, I can see it as a conspiracy theory, but there's just too much out there that's blatant that it's not a conspiracy. It's actually trying to happen.
I agree with
And that guy was a perfect example.
And he's a governor in the United
yeah,
States.
and he's in the government, and it can happen. Hopefully, it never actually happens. Hopefully, that bill or amendment or whatever he's doing falls flat on its face
What?
and never sees the light of day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
It won't. There's no way.
yeah, I mean, I can't really see it as conspiracy
I,
theory.
I don't
can
have that up anymore,
see-
but I think that was of 2021. I think when he proposed that,
I
either
will say
2021 or
that
yeah,
2017.
that's
so.
shit.
yeah,
I
that's
want lightning
fucking that's
powers.
recent for us. So as long as at least most of the people in the US who are in the right mind will sit there and fight those types of laws, amendments and stuff like that, I think we would be okay. But that's not to take away from the fact that maybe there should be a little bit more regulations on the whole gun process is basically my standpoint.
All right. Kami Pinko Tony.
No, I don't think there's a conspiracy at all. I think people are fucked up in this country. I think circumstances make people fucked up, and their mental health is fucked, and it's a crisis of mental health. And they steal the weapons from people who own them legally, or they obtain them from people who own them legally. Let me just borrow this. We're going hunting this week. Okay, and then they wind up hunting at a mall. Or they just plan it out and buy it legally. Do I have questions about the Uvalde shooter? How did an 18-year-old have that much money working menial jobs to afford the kind of weapons he had? Yeah, that's raised some questions. But he purchased them legally. 18 years old, he should be able to have them. I don't think there's a conspiracy theory to try and take away our guns, because if there was a conspiracy theory, that would mean that these events, these mass shootings, these suicide rates would be planned. Let's inflate the numbers. That way we can get numbers behind our reasons why to take the guns away. That's not happening. These are these things are happening organically. No one is forcing. People are doing this because they're doing it. There's no person whispering there and say you need to shoot up the school. Are there examples where I have questions? Sure. Vegas is one of them. We've tackled Newtown on this program. I'm not saying there isn't. There's not an asterisk next to there is.
But I have
My
a question
point,
though.
though.
Hold on. When you're sitting there saying that there's an asterisk next to them, why? If they're doing naturally, organically, then there shouldn't be no asterisk. That means everything should line up as to, yes, that
I'll give you an example of
and
what I mean.
But hold on. And the reason why I say that is because when you sit there and say there's an asterisk next to it, boom, right there, that's a conspiracy
No,
theory.
it's not a conspiracy.
It is. It is. When you're questioning the official story.
No, Joe. Okay, forget. It is an example saying, hey, listen, there's a lot of examples of these things happening naturally. There's a couple of occasions where there might be something you need to look into, but on the whole, this is something that happens naturally.
I got one question, just one.
All right.
The school shooting in King, what is that? The one up in Connecticut.
Sandy Hook.
Okay. What was the guy's name? Remember?
I have to look it up.
Adam
Lanza.
Lanza.
The shooter of the Aurora Theater.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I see his face. I don't remember his name.
Okay.
The guy who looked like the Joker.
The orange hair.
Yeah.
Now, these
Carrot
things are not connected in any way, and there's no conspiracy or whatever. Now, granted, some of them can just be crazy people, which I do believe it does happen. Explain to me why the father of Adam Lanza and the father of the crazy guy from the Aurora Theater work together for the CIA.
I'm not saying that there isn't things to look into. There are exceptions, but the norm, like something like the suicides, it's all gun violence.
Okay?
There's no conspiracy there. It's mental health problems. I'm saying that there are examples that we can look into that are the exception, but the norm is that guns are used when you have a bunch of people who are mentally affected.
How many politicians get up and say anything about gun violence
As
or
far as
guns
suicides.
after a suicide? You don't hear it?
Nobody does, because a suicide affects one person
They're
and their
not talking
family. It's
about
not a
suicide.
tragedy
Well,
where it
no,
affects the community.
it affects the people of the person in the
They're
family.
talking
That's
about-
what I just said.
They only seem to worry about when it's shootings of mass shootings.
Mm-hmm.
They don't say nothing about the violence on the street. Chicago, you can't even walk down the street. Nobody says a word about that. That's all gun violence. Why isn't that brought up?
That is brought up.
Where?
Chicago's a hot topic, but it's to Chicago. It's not. It is within the confines of Chicago. Gang violence, which is what Chicago, the root and soul of it,
Right. Okay.
is
that
a
why they-
national
And why is
thing.
Is that why they blamed
Chicago
Walmart?
Why is Chicago so bad?
I'm not saying Chicago is bad.
No. Why is really? It's
No,
probably
I'm
murder,
not-
other than
you're
Detroit. It's the
misunderstanding
murder
what I'm
capital of the
saying.
world.
You're misunderstanding. Yes, I agree with it. It is.
Okay, so why is that a bad area? Why is just Chicago having all of these problems?
I don't have the answer for
I
you.
give you the answer. Want the answer?
What's the
Al
answer?
Capone.
We don't have enough guns. You don't
Okay.
have enough guns. There's not enough guns, and I'll tell you why.
Right. So if
I'll
there's
tell you
not
why,
enough
because
guns,
that
then
fucking
how
idiot-
could there be a conspiracy to take
Rahm
them away?
Ema-
You want to put more out there.
Rahm Emanuel decided he made it a gun for you can't own a gun in Chicago.
Right.
So, but the gangs all got guns. Nobody goes after them. How is it in Atlanta? The gun violence is down to like not Atlanta, Georgia. How come in Atlanta there's very little gun school shootings. Can you help me with that one, please?
I have to look into it.
I can tell you why. Would you like me to tell you why? There's
Yeah.
more guns.
Okay.
Everybody's allowed to have guns. Because if I know that you're carrying a gun in your house,
You're bringing my point for me.
how?
Because if there's a conspiracy to take our guns away, and yet we should see consistently that more guns means more safety, then there shouldn't be any conspiracy.
And I'm going to go
We
back to
should
what you said about a half an hour ago. Dude, I'm going to paraphrase it. There's profit in confusion. Okay?
Yeah.
Once you allow the gun violence, okay? Once you take those guns and you allow the violence, all right? Then you got a serious problem on your hands. And then you can come in and you can problem, reaction, solution. You can then do what you want to do and mold that place the way you want to mold it.
But the molding of the place, the way they're molding it is not helping anybody. It's
What's that?
creating more violence.
Right. The more violence, the more control. The more violence, the more control. Don't you get it?
I understand what you're
So
saying.
what are you arguing with me for?
I'm not arguing with you. What I'm saying is, though, what you're making.
He is
my-
arguing with you, Dad. It's
No, you're
okay.
making my point for me.
No.
The
I
more
think I
guns
am.
you have out there, the safer you are.
Right.
For the people. The government
the
does not
people.
want you to be safe.
Right, but that would mean that if it's a conspiracy, that means a group of people, more than one, come together to figure out how to take the guns off the streets and keep them out of the hands of law-abiding citizens.
Exactly.
I don't think that's
Do you
happening.
know how you do that? Hold on. Do you know how you do that?
Yo, we're gonna be here for like
We're
back
gonna
and
sit
forth.
there and
for
go,
like the
gun
next
violence,
hour and a
ban
half.
guns.
Look, do you want to know how you do that? You scare the people with gun violence of children. That's how you do it.
It's never worked. They did the same thing with drugs. Ban drugs, more drug
Never
epidemics.
works. So that's why now in the state of Connecticut, the gun manufacturers are being sued simply for producing weapons. Just like, I know, you want to sue the tobacco companies because you decided to light up a cigarette and blow your fucking lungs out. So therefore, in a capitalist society, you should be responsible for yourself. Those people are now being sued. The people that are working for, RJ Reynolds and all that, they're all being sued. They got a family to feed as well. They want to go home at the end of the night. They want to enjoy their lives. Well, they don't want to be sued because you were stupid to fucking carry light up a cigarette over 30 years and blow your lungs out. Same with the guns. All right, we should be suing gun manufacturers because they're simply doing their job. It's very simple.
That's fine. I can agree with you on that. I'm providing a thing.
All right. So that's okay. So Anthony, no conspiracy. Gotcha. Understood. For me at least, I do believe there is a conspiracy theory. There's enough evidence out there to sit there, whether you believe it or not, to say that there is a conspiracy. And to Josh's point, to what he said before, Anthony, that
Why are you directing it to me? Talk to the group.
I said before.
You said to Anthony.
No, I said before Anthony spoke.
You didn't say that.
He's on you, yeah.
Anywho, before Anthony spoke and was talking to Josh's point before Anthony rambled on, I do think it's what Josh said. I think it's a little bit here and there. Keep on adding to the pot and have people scared. When you have people scared, they will trust you no matter what. If you say the government's gonna come and save you, the government's come and save you, people will sit there and go, take my freedoms away.
If
Just
you're
protect
scared,
me,
you
please.
defend yourself. You don't say take
Not
my freedoms
everybody
away.
can do. No, Anthony. Not everybody defends himself.
No,
in
if
that
you look,
situation.
if you look how this
Sorry.
country is, Anthony, and it happens every day. This is why you see a lot of people say take away the guns. A lot of people they're scared of people with guns and stuff like that. If they're taught how to from a young age that guns are necessary in this world, and this is how you use a gun, and this is how you.
So wait, let me. What I'm getting from you, Anthony, is if the people are afraid, they should what?
If you decide
I
to
was
move
just talking, but cool.
if you decide to move into a neighborhood that's known for violent crimes, you don't you don't buy a house and leave rusty locks on it. You put new locks on them.
Well, what you just said.
Hold on a second, but at the same time, if those locks aren't going to work, you need a backup plan. You have the right to defend your house. Own a gun.
Hold on. Hold the fuck up.
You know where I'm going?
Hold
Here
the
we
fuck
go
up.
again.
See where I'm going with that?
No, did you just hear what he said?
No, I heard exactly what he
Yeah.
said.
Okay. Fucking idiot. You have the right to defend yourself,
Except for the militias.
unless,
Hold on a second.
like,
if
okay, hold on. If you have a pistol in your house,
Motherfuckers,
hold
you're
on.
not going to let me
If
get
you
this
have
out,
a
are you?
pistol in your house and the guns and the gangs are coming at you with MAC-10s, don't defend yourself.
No, that's not what I'm saying, jerk off. If a guy's gonna break into your house, he doesn't have a fucking drone missile. He doesn't have a Reaper missile. He doesn't have a chain gun.
Oh.
He's got a fucking handgun, a shotgun. He's got a weapon of some sort. You can match him one-on-one. There's a fighting chance. That's the whole point of the militia thing. There's no fighting chance when you go up against a military.
Here we go.
But when
again.
someone breaks into your house with a pistol, and you happen to have a pistol, luck of the draw, one of you motherfuckers is going down, you have a fighting chance. You have the right to defend yourself.
He boxed himself in a box.
I didn't fucking lock myself in a box. It's a difference of technology, not a difference of fucking the idea of defending yourself. Sure, they want to dress up like fucking defending. Yeah, go ahead, dude. You're gonna lose. You're gonna fucking lose. You want to die losing? Go ahead.
I guess that the point of underdog never really matters with him. Anthony
oh my
thinks
fucking
that
God. It's
the
an underdog thing when you have it. When
the underdog is always going to lose no matter what. 10 out of 10, you lose. Don't try.
Do you have people playing on the same field?
Don't try.
They might be better. You have a shot of winning. You have no fucking shot
David-
going up against the fucking Reaper drone asshole.
The story of David and Goliath.
The more he talks, the more constipated he gets.
And I think we'll end the episode on that note, all right? All right. You know why he's constipated? Because he's full of shit! Anywho, we're going to sit there and end this episode here. Remember, everybody, September 10th. When does this episode come out? This episode drops... September 9th. So next week, when this episode drops, and I'm talking to the people in the future, when this episode drops next week, the week after, we're going to be down in Red Bank for our first ever show.
No, that'd be the next day. This is dropping on the 9th. Tomorrow, we're in Red Bank.
No, dickhead. This is dropping on the 3rd.
Oh, okay.
Again, he closes his ears and opened up his mouth.
No, you did say it's dropping on the 9th.
You just said that.
Yeah, fuck you.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
That's why I corrected you, jerk
Beauty
off.
of it now, you have it on tape. You did, Joe.
I'll have to go back and listen because I don't believe you.
Fuck you.
Stop fucking screaming, you commie pinko fat fuck. Holy shit. You know what? Matt,
Pinko fat
Mic
fuck.
off. Anywho,
Constipated.
the next week after, regardless of what fucking day, the Sunday the 10th, we're going to be down in Red Bank, New Jersey for the street fair. Come visit us. We're giving away some prizes. We can sign autographs. You might be included on our YouTube channel. Go subscribe on our YouTube channel, Green Hour Media. Go listen to us. Go to our website, Green Hour Media Spreadshirt.com. Is this real spread? It's one of those. It's all on our website, greenhourmedia.org. Go follow over our social medias. And we say this every week. Just go follow over our social medias, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that. Everyone, anything else to say? And Anthony's mic, you're done for the night. Your mic is off.
YouTube!
And nobody else has anything to say?
No,
Hey, go check out our YouTube.
Pretty much.
All right. So we'll catch you guys next week for... What is next week? Next week is...
Whistleblower.
Whistleblowers. Ooh, that's going to be an interesting one. We'll see you guys next week as we have 2 more episodes left in Season 10. Remember that. Get your Season 10 G-shirts out now. It's this right here. I'm besides Dad and Wes, the only one wearing Is This Real T-shirts tonight. Please go follow all of our social medias again. Everyone say goodnight.
Good night,
everybody.
Good night,
Well-
everybody.
Catch you guys next week. Remember, everybody, question everything. Good night.
Konnichiwa, bitches. It's Ryu West speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc or on Twitter at isthisrealpc or on Instagram at isthisrealpodcast, all one word.